This is the pop effect and how you can apply it in After Effects. Start by dragging in the footage in the project panel. The first footage you will be using is a glass shatter with a black and white alpha matte. I will provide a link in the description down below and you can download it for free. There will also be a PSD Photoshop file that you can add to the project panel. This will also be included in the description down below. Make sure that you choose the editable layer styles and the composition should be retain layer sizes. And this is how the file will look like in Photoshop. You got 3 different layers. It's a sign and 2 of the stones painted in red. In this video, as usually, we'll be working with a 920x1080 composition, 3 seconds and 24 FPS. Start by double-click the warning sign, the composition, mark the 2 first layers, stone up and down, and drag it in to about 2 seconds. Then go into Effects and Presets, search for Pop, and we apply the Pop In effect to stone down and the Pop Out effect to stone up, and just drag and drop them over the layers. Go forward a little bit in the timeline, just about where you can see the largest expansion of the animation of the red stone. Go into the intensity slider and change the number to -2000. Go back a little bit in the timeline for the stone down and see where it expands the most. Then go into the intensity slider and drag this up to roughly 1600. Drag and drop the video file of broken glass. And you go in and change the mode. And if you can't see the mode in the timeline, just right click beside layer name and you can add a column modes. And then change the mode from normal to add. Mark the layer, broken glass, and go forward in the timeline to see about where the animation is widest in scale. Drag the whole layer to the right and keep about 2 frames to the left of the time cursor. Then we want to drag down the video animation a little bit so the cross just covers somewhere in the middle, a little bit further down perhaps, and scale it up around 180%. Split the layers, hold Ctrl Shift, hit D, right click on the layer and hit freeze on last frame. Then go backwards again in the timeline, try to find a spot just before the largest expansion of the stone down with the pop in effect, and drag the beginning of the layer all the way down to the cursor. Make sure that your layer is marked, go up to the shape layer tools. If you can't see the star already, hold and press it and you get 5 different options and choose the star tool. Drag out the star shape to create a mask for the layer that covers almost the whole red spot, but not completely. And hit M 2 times. Let's create 2 keyframes, one for mask feather and one for mask expansion. The first keyframe in the beginning, mask feather, we put at 50 pixels and the mask expansions can be at 0 pixels. Go forward a little bit in the timeline, 4 or 5 frames, raise the feather to about 150 pixels, and then we want to drag up the mask expansion to just about where all the broken glass cover the whole composition. Then mark the layers and hit F9 to ease them. Go into the graph editor and make sure you have the speed editor chosen and not the value one. Drag your mouse over both the 2 yellow cubes, and this lets you regulate the speed of the animation of the feather and the expansion of the mask. And we want to create a bit slower animation in the beginning and the end, and faster in the middle. So we drag the 2 yellow lines into the middle. The left one a little bit further in than the right one, but you can tweak this after your own preferences. Finally, adjust the layer and connect the end of the layer to the beginning of the top one. Hit spacebar and this is your final animation.